Alex on my left and Calix on my right. I carefully slid out from Felix's heavy arm. He stirred a little, but did not. Chapter 20. Secret Keeper Calix. I woke up lying against Felix's chest with Alex on my left and Calix on my right. I carefully slid out from under Felix's heavy arm. He stirred a little, but did not wake up. They were all sleeping peacefully. I breathed a sigh of relief. I showered quickly and put on a yellow sundress over my gold bathing suit. The world-renowned chef was still on board, and we were still traversing the open seas. I ate at a bar on deck. It was covered, so I was in the shade, but the sea breeze had easy access to whip my curls about. It was refreshing. The chef was named Chat Chevalier and was from Chartres, a town in Loire Valley, France. He was a tall, lean werewolf with powerful-looking biceps. He had a sleeve of tattoos on his left arm, but only one tattoo in the shape of a band around his right wrist. Upon closer inspection, the band was two girls' names in cursive drawn all the way around. Josephine et Genevieve. He had dark ash-blonde hair, tan skin, and deep brown eyes. His sous chef was a muscular werewolf just a bit shorter than him with dark eyes, dark glossy wavy hair, and deep olive skin. He was named Sachin Singh and was from Jaipur, India. He told me he lived near somewhere called the Pink City. They both had heart-stopping handsome looks, but were humble and kind. Of course, I only had eyes for the triplets. Chat? I asked the head chef, Chat Chevalier. Doesn't that mean cat in French? Oui, exactement, he said. Yes, exactly. Vous parlez français, Madame Thorne? Do you speak French, Miss Thorne? J'ai parlé un peu de français. I do, I speak a little French. Genevieve et Josephine sont tes filles? Genevieve and Josephine are your daughters? I pointed to the right band tattoo on his wrist. He smiled. Josephine is my mate and wife, and Genevieve is our little daughter, yes, he said in a thick French accent. He acts as if he's 80, exclaimed Sachin. I laughed. Sachin looked to be about 25, and Chat looked about 35. Why did they name you Cat? I asked. Because he's grumpy and sneaky, Sachin said, clearly very good friends with his boss. His boss nudged him playfully. It's because I am regal, cunning, and proud like a cat, and my mother loves cats. My siblings are Catherine and Cheshire. Wow, dedication to a theme. I could not help but giggle. I loved cats, too. I had never been allowed a pet growing up in the pack house as a second-class citizen. I suddenly realized I could get one now. You don't like cats, Sachin? I asked. I like cats, yeah. My mate has a black Persian cat named Sphinx. He hates me, Sachin said as he sautéed some mushrooms. He's bright, Chat joked. He doesn't know what he's missing. I feed him extra meat to get in his good graces so he won't maul me when I go to her place, Sachin said, tapping his temple to indicate what a brilliant idea that was. I giggled. They made me a mushroom and onion omelet that was so delicious. I also requested truffle fries as a side because I had heard the triplets talking about them. Sachin made them and they were amazing. I was still talking to the chef at the covered bar and kitchenette area on deck when the triplets appeared looking a bit grumpy. We woke up and you weren't there, whined Calix. I gave him a big hug and stood on tiptoes to ruffle his hair. We always wait for you when we wake up first, he pouted. That was true. I felt a little guilty. I kissed his cheeks and he pulled me onto his lap and started eating some of my omelet and feeding me bits of it every other spoonful. Calix needs a lot of love, Felix said, kissing my forehead. Sachin, how about some cognac? It's 10 in the morning, protested Alex. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, said Sachin, pouring the drink while Felix grinned. Calix wanted me to come swimming with him in the indoor pool. He scarfed down the basket of truffle fries, took a swig of his cappuccino, and hopped off the high stool, pulling me with him. Alex and Felix chuckled. I noticed Alex had some alcohol now too, despite his earlier disapproval. The indoor pool was huge, and there was a sunroof at one end, so there was a sunlit end and a shady end. The sunlit end was warm and shallow, and the shady end was cool and a bit deeper. I couldn't swim, so Calix made me practice my breathing and blowing bubbles under the water. Then he showed me how to doggy paddle, but he put flotation wings on me because he was worried. He took them off and wrapped my arms and legs around his bare-muscled torso. He grinned and rocked me against him. "Chastity, I'm sorry," he said suddenly. "For what?" I asked, leaning against his wet chest. "For not standing up to my brothers when they went overboard with you when I was younger," he mumbled. I smiled. I kissed him. "I would never let them have their way now, ever. But it doesn't matter now because they're different. Everything is different," he whispered, his forehead against mine as he walked, carrying me across the pool, the water lapping at us. "I forgive you, Calix. You especially," I said softly, feeling a little embarrassed recalling when I tried to separate him from the others. "Thank you, Chastity," murmured Calix against my lips. He kissed me with so much emotion, I became a little teary-eyed. I broke apart from him. "Calix," I breathed. "Yeah," he said quietly. "You're your mom's favorite, right?" I asked. It was commonly believed in the pack that Calix was the Luna's favorite, her little angel, her youngest. The former alpha favored his elder, tougher boys. Calix smirked. "Yeah, but both our parents love all of us." I knew that for sure. The parents adored the triplets and were so proud to have produced 3 alphas in one go. Our pack was famous because of the identical triplet alphas. They had actually been interviewed on werewolf late-night talk shows before because everyone in werewolf country was fascinated by them. "So, you know her really well? Like, you guys talk?" I asked hesitantly. "Yeah, she tells me more than the others. She even comes to me sometimes to talk when her and Dad fight, but they hardly fight, so that's only every couple of months," Calix admitted. Bingo. He should know what I wanted to find out then. "Tell me honestly, why does the Luna dislike me so much?" I asked. Calix was hesitant. He thought about it for a few moments, seemingly picking out the right words to convey what he wanted to say to me. He was always the most careful with my feelings and the most gentle physically. "She had a problem with your mom," Calix admitted. "An old feud, perhaps." "Yeah," I prompted him. "Maybe I should have told you this sooner. Don't be mad, okay?" Calix said, giving me his famous puppy dog eyes. Calix had a huge fan club of girls in the pack because of these puppy dog eyes. He was widely considered a sweetheart. Alex was a classic heartthrob, and Felix was a bad boy. My pulse quickened. I could tell Calix was listening to my heartbeat as he quickly tried to placate me by telling me the supposed secret. The reason why my parents took you in was not just to repay the debts. That was a cover. Felix doesn't know this, by the way. Alex knows as the eldest. Father handed over a lot of alpha responsibilities to him, said Calix. Poor Felix was in the dark just like me. A cover? Calix began his tale. My mother always hated her stepbrother's mate. She felt the girl was a bad influence, and she thought his mate was the one who introduced him to drugs. You see, my mother's father married twice, so my mother gained a little brother she wasn't biologically related to, but loved all the same. He grew up and married this girl my mother hated. My mother and her stepbrother became estranged, so she never knew what was going on with him. He had a daughter with the girl Mom hated, and when she was a child, the couple got into some trouble with some dangerous people. Mom begged Dad to pay off their debts because she loved her little stepbrother so much, even though they'd been estranged since his marriage. My parents paid off the debts, but the couple still skipped town because they had made some enemies. They thought a life on the road wasn't good for their little daughter, so they dropped her off at the pack house without so much as a phone call or note. They just left the little girl. My mom thought the little girl looked just like her mother and behaved just as willful. She was not a fan from the get-go. Chastity, that little girl is you. My mom and your dad were estranged step-siblings. Are you selling cookies? I want 3 boxes for me and my brothers. No, I sniffled, annoyed. I'm supposed to ask for Luna Ronnie. My mom? The little boy asked. I shrugged. I'm Calix. My mom is Luna Ronnie. My father's the Alpha, he said. He was boastful. I shrugged, looking back at my parents' anxious faces. They wanted me to hurry up. Something bad could happen. Get Luna Ronnie now, I said. Calix ran off to get her. Who is she to you? Said another boy who came to the door. He looked the same as Calix. Twins? I don't know, I said. I didn't know. I thought Ronnie was Dad's friend or something. I had never met her. I didn't understand the conversation I had snooped on earlier. I'm Felix, said the boy. Okay, whatever. Please get your mother, I said. Felix looked really angry, but huffed away. Their mother, Luna Ronnie, came. A third similar boy was peeking out. Triplets. Alex, go inside now, she said. The third boy ran away. It was just me and her. She started to cry. What's going on? She sniffed. My father cried harder looking at her. He started to drive away. The Luna noticed my suitcase. Where's he going? She demanded, crying. I said nothing. I didn't know. Stop! She screamed. She ran into the snow. The car sped off. Don't leave! I can help you, please! Don't leave me! Chase! Chase, don't go! Let me help you! Luna Ronnie tripped and fell in the snow, sobbing on her knees. She stayed like that until the car disappeared in the darkness. She let the snow fall on her. I could see her breath. I was crying too, but quietly. A man came outside and ran to the Luna. I could tell he was the Alpha. He picked her up and put her on their feet. Where are they? He boomed. They're gone, she wailed, her voice hoarse from screaming and crying. The Alpha spotted me. He was big and scary. I was afraid. She can't stay here, the Alpha said. I was scared. I knew unwanted children go to orphanages and people treat them badly. But no one adopts them unless they're babies. That's what someone told me once when we watched Annie, a movie about orphans. Annie got adopted, though. She was special and a good singer. I loved that movie. The Alpha walked up to me. We'll inform the pack police and they'll organize what to do with her, he commanded. No, said the Luna, walking up to the porch. A true Luna could not be commanded, even by her Alpha. I knew that. Every pack child was taught the basics about pack laws. The Alpha was angry. She stays with us until they come back for her, she said. They glared at each other. She'll earn her keep, he said. She can do chores, mumbled the Luna. She's not to play with my boys, the Alpha said. Think of the bad habits she must have. She's a little girl, began the Luna. I don't care. She can stay, but she's not our new daughter, so don't act like she is, the Alpha said. The Luna looked at me. She looks like her mother anyway. Said the Alpha. He took my bag inside. Chase was a good boy before. He really was. A sweet boy. Like my Calix, Luna said. Yeah, sure, whatever, the Alpha said near the doorway. He's not a good boy now. He's a grown man with bad habits. The Luna walked inside. I stayed on the porch, crying. Hurry up, said the Luna. Too much cold air is getting in. I went inside, and she closed the door on my old life. Chapter 22. Freezing Flashback. I extricated myself from Calix's arms just as I realized we were still in a relatively deep area. I went under immediately, but only for a split second. Calix's strong arms grabbed me and pulled me back up and against his chest. He cradled me to his chest while I spluttered, coughing up water. I immediately began to wriggle in his arms, annoyed. "Take me back to the pool's edge, please, now. I want to get out," I squealed, feeling panicked. Calix seemed dumbfounded. He hesitated. "Take me back!" I shrieked. "Calix!" He held on to me tightly. "I just want to talk to you, okay? Let's talk about this." "Let me go!" I screamed. A memory flashed before me. I was under the ice in freezing cold water. I opened my mouth to scream and just gulped down cold water that burned my throat. The water was so cold it burned. Everywhere burned, like I was on fire. I remembered being so shocked that the cold could burn you. I fought and struggled with all my might, but I couldn't get out of the water. I couldn't push my way back out of the ice fishing hole for air because hands were holding me down in the water. I was terrified. Was this the last day of my life? I let out a blood-curdling scream. Calix actually jumped away from me, startled. He had relinquished me finally, but, of course, I fell under the water again. I had never really learnt to swim. Firstly, because I never got lessons, and secondly, because once I realized I needed them, I was a burden to a new family and terrified of drowning after my experience being held under the water by my bullies, the Triplets. I did not stay under for long this time either. Strong arms grasped me again. I looked up expecting to see Calix, but Felix was holding me, pulling me from the water. He scooped me up, carrying me bridal style, immediately out of the pool. My eyes searched for Calix, who was still in the middle of the pool, looking shocked and mortified. "What the fuck is wrong with you?" bellowed Felix, glaring at Calix. "Didn't you see her struggling in the water? She was screaming almost a minute now. I ran here as fast as I could. I thought she was alone in the pool or something. Now I see you're here. What the fuck happened?" The below-deck indoor pool was on the opposite end of the large yacht from the covered on-deck bar and kitchen area. I was panting, relieved to not be in the water anymore and too tired to protest being held anymore, even though I wanted to be alone right now. My wolf was whimpering at how sad Calix looked as he trudged out of the pool. "I was trying to grab her. She didn't want to be held by me," said Calix softly, practically wincing at the thought. He rubbed the back of his neck. His dark, wavy hair was drenched and sticking to his forehead. He looked really cute, but I was so mad at him. Why did he not help me back out of the water as soon as I asked? He was holding me and keeping me in the water to talk. I was livid. "Felix, put me down," I said, close to tears. They could hear it in my voice from the way they acted. Felix quickly but reluctantly placed me on my feet. Alex came dashing in a second later. "Chastity!" Alex said, rushing over to me. Calix and Felix both mind-linked me. "I didn't hear you, honey. I was near the front of the ship where the wind is powerful. What happened?" "It doesn't matter," I said, sniffling. I held back my tears as best I could, but I was shaking. Alex reached for me to embrace me. "No, please don't," I pleaded. I did not want to be touched right now. "Alex, please, may I have a separate room from the three of you for the rest of the trip?" "Baby," said Felix softly, his voice sounding heartbroken. My wolf was upset. She wanted me to forget about the past and just be with the triplets. She couldn't stand the idea of sleeping separately from them. Alex took a deep, slow breath. "Chastity," he breathed. "You can have whatever you like, whatever makes you feel comfortable. But please, I'm begging you, let's talk about this first." I got even more upset. A little anger intermingled with my sadness. "You knew all along," I said to Alex, my voice shaking. "You knew my father was your mother's stepbrother. That means she probably even knows where my parents are." "Wait, what?" growled Felix, turning to Alex angrily. "I shouldn't have kept that from you. I'm sorry. I meant to tell you when the time was right. I've only known since we became alphas and realized you were our mate, Princess. I wanted you to enjoy life for a little bit, not worry for once, that's all, insisted Alex. I was crying quietly now. Felix was moving towards me really slowly. He hesitantly drew me to him. My wolf purred at the warmth of his body. Calix came up behind me suddenly and hugged me tightly. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have kept that from you, but I also shouldn't have blurted it out like that. I love you, Chastity. Do you remember New Year's a few years ago when I kissed you? I'd wanted to do that since I saw you on the doorstep of our house, murmured Calix. Calix was hugging me from behind, and I could feel so much of his skin against mine because we were both in our bathing suits. Felix was in front of me, holding me to him also. They sandwiched me between them, overwhelming me with their body heat. Alex was actually crying really quietly. He played with my damp curls and put his lips against my forehead, breathing on my face. I was crying too. Alex licked my tears off of my cheeks, grooming me. I was so furious and upset with them, but the skin-to-skin contact with my mates was making me wet between my legs. I was shivering, but certainly not from the cold. Not with all their heat enveloping me. I knew if they tried to convince me to go back to the bedroom and talk, I would end up sleeping with all of them. My body ached for that. I half-heartedly pushed at Felix's bare chest, and he pushed back forcefully, making me gasp. He moved my hands away and kissed me passionately, lifting me off my feet. My bare legs instinctively wrapped around his waist, and he held me up with his hands under my thighs. I returned the kiss until I came to my senses. I pushed gently against Felix's chest, and he broke the kiss. I extricated myself from the triplets and stood apart from them. I put my hands up, palms facing forwards. I sighed at their heartbroken expressions. I won't change rooms if we talk about this, and if you promise no more secrets, I said, looking each of them in the eyes. Felix folded his arms, narrowing his eyes. I promise, but I never kept any secrets to begin with, he said, annoyed, glaring at his brothers and then turning back to me. I don't want to be treated as if we're one person. We're 3 individual people, and I didn't know about this. So why should I be punished by you too? Is that fair? He had a point. I felt a pang of guilt. He was right. They were different. When you were mad at Alex and I, you were so nice to Calix still at Christmas. So why, now that you're mad at Alex and Calix, you don't want me in your bed? Continued Felix. Ugh, he was right. Sorry, Felix, I mumbled. You didn't know either. I walked over and hugged him. He embraced me warmly and tried to pick me up again, but I would not let him, though I giggled this time and his eyes darkened. We're so sorry, Chastity, said Calix. I promise, no more secrets. I did what I thought was best, said Alex. I'm sorry too. No more secrets, I promise. I gave Alex and Calix a kiss on the cheek each. I didn't get a kiss on the cheek, complained Felix. You got a real kiss just a second ago, whined Calix. Alex rolled his eyes at his younger brothers. He held out his hand to me. I took it. I'll tell you whatever you want to know, Chastity, my Luna, Alex murmured in my ear, his lips brushing against my skin. Let's talk.